Hi again, and thanks for joining us back. So we are set for the final day. We'll just have that last evening. So we are next to the White City, the first city we have come across so far. At standard difficulty that the game suggests first off. Level 5, 2 white and a grey token. So let's see what we have. Day or night adjacent to a city. I believe you would always reveal it because assaulting a city is quite a tough challenge. So unlike keeps and mage towers, which you only reveal during the day, the city the token's revealed when a player is adjacent to the city, even at night, so you will always know what you're going to get yourself in for assaulting the city. Okay, so we've got some heroes. They're fortified, so they will be double fortified, so we can't take these guys out with siege. And two, what are those? Gunners. They're brutal with 6 fire attacks. They're going to be pretty hard to block. But luckily, nothing here is actually resistant to physical damage. These, though, are ice resistant, which does mean we can't use our strong, or we can use it, but it will be halved our siege attack here. So the siege attack would be enough to take out the heroes had they not been double fortified. And these guys are resistant, so annoyingly our siege ability is somewhat mitigated against. The benefit from the White City also means each of these tokens has 1 extra armor. So something just got to try and bear in mind. Hopefully I won't forget that. I'll leave that here. So from where we are currently, we are on a keep. And this is our second keep. We managed to defeat one way down here at the start. So that means our hand limit is actually 2 higher. So we're going to start by looking at a hand of 8 cards. So steady tempo, swiftness, and will focus, determination, the gem bag, stamina, march, and demolish. So unfortunately, half of those we've just got movement, which, considering it's only 2 movement to ever get into a city, not exactly what we needed. But we do also need to pick tactic. I finally remembered. Great start. Given the choice of these 2, there's no point us taking the right moment. We are set ready to go for an attack. Let's take great start. And magically, it does also mean we're going first. So go for great start and draw 2 extra cards. We have Shield Bash and the Endless Bag of Gold, which will be useful if we do conquer this city, but right now pretty useless. Gem Bag, again, it's going to be useful potentially in this assault, but not really what we needed right now. Okay, so yeah, we've got potential for blocking some of these attacks, but we do get the benefit of ignoring site fortifications, and enemies get armor -1. That will basically completely mitigate the fact that we're fighting these enemies in the White City. They lose their fortifications and they lose this armor bonus. We can basically just treat them as blank tokens. So we're definitely going to be using that card. It's just a matter of how we're going to power it up. We do have red mana in the source. We have the option of getting red mana from our skill token or the crystal we have in our bag. So it really comes down to how we want to use our other abilities. We need to use one of our movement cards to get in to this city, and we might as well use steady tempo. It's only a move 2, which is fine, and it can be put at the bottom of our D deck, so it's just an extra card we can play again if we need that movement to get over to the last tile, which is going to be the next city. This gives us the option, so we'll use steady tempo definitely for that move ability. That leaves us the opportunity to use ranged attack because we're looking at mitigating their armor. So what we could do is use this skill token to get 2 extra cards and a green mana, and then we could power up Will Focus with the green mana token, and then get a range attack 6, which would be enough because they're no longer fortified to kill one of these units. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go with that one, I think. Yeah, let's do it. Let's draw these 2 cards before we've committed to any of this. Because no information's been revealed, I'm not necessarily counting us as going straight in. So let's look at these 2 cards and just check if that changes anything. We get a green mana token and 2 extra cards. So this is a monster hand, Crystal Joy and Tranquility. So not great, but at least we know if we are taking some wounds from one of these attacks, we're not going to have to wait long to heal it. Crystal Joy, I suppose it's not terrible having it at the start of the round. We might use its ability to cycle and stock up on a few crystals with this. No attacks, but we do have those cards. So let's think. If we were using the red mana die from the source to power Demolish, we've now got our red crystal. Green crystal to power Will Focus with Swiftness. So that would be a ranged attack to defeat one of these tokens. We could also look at these heroes now. They are back to only having a 4 armor, and with no resistance, we could use the ability of the Ice Mages. It would cost us 1 blue mana, but they then have a siege ice attack of 4. And that would mean we don't have to worry about blocking these 2 attacks. We do have options to block. We could use Shield Bash as or just as a block 3, and then power up Determination for the block 5. But I think, considering we've got 2 blue crystals in our bag, we might as well power these up. So we'll spend the unit with a blue crystal. Say we've taken care of that. That leaves us then only with 1 unit, which we haven't taken care of in the range and siege phase. We do not have any other abilities bar our skill token for 1 1 siege, which isn't going to be enough. So we'd have to think about blocking this attack. But since we do not have any ice block, anything we use is going to be halved. It does make it pretty tricky. If we were to let the damage come through, because it's brutal, we would take 4 wounds from him. So I would also like to avoid that if possible. If we were to look at Shield Bash and Determination, if we did manage to get 2 blue crystals to power them up, we would get 10 block. But that would be halved because it's not elemental out of 5, so we would have to get 2 more block, which we could do just discarding 2 cards sideways. We do still have to find the 6 attack to kill him, and with the cards we've got in hand, don't have that option. We could spend a mana to get attack 3 plus a catapult for 4, and then spend tranquility and crystallize for 5, 6. Is that going to be? We would have to use our skill token to get another blue crystal to power both of these up. That is, I mean, that's pretty tough going, just avoid the wounds and to kill him. If we did take the 4 wounds, we do have our tranquility. We would know we're going to heal 2 of those straight back up anyway. And then with only 2 wounds in our hand, I don't think we're in as bad a situation, particularly since we've got Crystal Joy, which will let us discard some of those wounds. So it's a lot of wounds, but I think in order to keep some of these cards free from being discarded, we will not block this attack. We'll take 4 wounds, 1, 2, 3, 4 into our hand, and then we can use Determination as attack 2, Shield Bash, 3. Don't have any spare mana tokens, do we? No. So let's use our skill token here to get this blue crystal and red mana token. We can then get 5 and just another card sideways, 6 attack. We do still have these wounds in our hand. Yeah, I think that's what we do. So once more, just running through that. Steady tempo, first of all, for the movement. 2 movement to assault the city. We're in this location, in the city. We find some heroes in the city. We will actually lose 2 reputation. Unfortunate. Using the die from the source, we can power Demolish. That ignores site fortifications and enemies get armor -1. We're completely ignoring the fact this is the White City. We drew 2 cards earlier and got a green mana token. So that mana token is powering Will Focus and giving us 6 range attack. Kills this unit. And we are using a blue mana crystal to use our ice mages to kill this unit. Again, in the siege and range phase, this unit we're then not blocking. We're taking 4 wounds, but spending a red mana crystal alongside the attack 2 from Determination and one more card discarded. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attack to kill him. So all 3 units are defeated. And we've used all of these cards here. Let's just tidy away these mana crystals. For each enemy defeated in a city, you place 1 shield upon card. Each of these gives you 1 influence in that city, and if you have majority, so in a solo game, obviously that is you, but in a competitive game or cooperative, if you had defeated more tokens than anyone else, you would get a hand limit increase of 2, or if you have defeated at least 1 in there, you get a bonus of 1. This bonus doesn't stack with keeps, so where we are, we're still next to a keep. We either get a hand bonus increase of 2 from the city or 2 from the keep. We don't get both, but at least we get the influence from these, which will help offset the fact we've dropped to -3 reputation. What we will do before the end of the round, let's play Endless Gem Pouch and roll 2 dice, see what crystals we get, because there's no point keeping this card in our hand. We will get a green and 1 fame, and we'll use this green crystal immediately on Tranquility to heal away 2 of the wounds we've just received. And what we'll also do is use a blue crystal that we have in our inventory. Gain a crystal of a basic colour. We'll take blue and we will discard a wound. So not throw away, this just goes straight into our discard. And we'll take Crystal Joy back into our hand. But at least now our hand only has 1 wound in it. We've healed 2 and we've already discarded 1. We'll have to try and get rid of that later somehow, but at least it's not clogging up our hand. That was pretty successful. We actually took out the city in 1 go. We have exhausted quite a lot of our resources doing that. We played in total, what was it, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards plus 1 unit. But I think that was definitely worthwhile. Add all those cards to our discard, and now let's work out our fame. We've got 19 extra fame. We're on 40, so we'll slide up to 59. And that levels us up. So we don't get any new abilities from this level, but we can pick one of these tokens. And the difference in these levels, we increase our armor. We're up to 4 armor now. With the armor, if I run through the example we had with this brutal unit, that step from 3 to 4 armor is quite useful. With brutal, you double the attack, so it would have been 12. So instead of taking 4 wounds, you would have got 3. For quite a while, I know a few others played it, you double the wounds. So I looked at it as a 6. You'd still take 2 wounds with an armor class of 4. You double it from brutal. I've been recently told that was incorrect, and it's actually a much nicer thing for the player to get that 4 armor class in cases like this. Right, so let's just tidy up. We've got 1 die we use from the source to re-roll, and we get still red, so we've got quite a plentiful source. Got green, red and gold mana there for the taking. And yes, that is quite a lot on a first turn, but that is our first turn. For the dummy player, I mean, we've got no need to rush. We've used 10 cards. He still has his whole deck. 1, 2, 3. It's blue. And he has 2 blue cards. So we reveal 2 more. Let's now refill our hand. So our hand limit is still 6, but because we're adjacent to a keep and we have 2 keeps, we're actually going to treat it as 8. We've got Rage, Mana Draw, Pathfinding, Improvisation, and I've just realised we discarded Steady Tempo, but we had the option to put it on the bottom of our D deck. So let's go ahead and take that, flip it to the bottom. So we do still have quite a few cards to play, but we know that end one will give us some movement. Excellent. So we've got our Endless Bag of Holding, and since we're in the White City, we should probably look at doing some recruiting, but unfortunately we didn't draw much in the way of other influence except for Improvisation, that influence 5. But let's take a look at what we could get from the offer. The White City lets you recruit any available unit, not just the city units, any available unit. So we've got 3 influence tokens here, offsetting our penalty. We can just treat them as what's explicitly stated on the card. So if we were to destroy our Endless Bag of Gold, we would get 9 influence, which is straight up enough to get the catapults. That's really good. The Amatep freezes. Target enemy does not attack this combat and gets armor -3. Again, very useful. So I want to pick up both of these. The scouts, though, I think are one of the better level 1 units. Siege attack 1, it's not huge, but you never know when that 1 extra attack is really going to make the difference. And we do have our token as well, which gives us 1 extra siege attack. Also, we've had it a couple of times where we've ended around 1 fame away from leveling up. This ability to look at a face down token, choose if you want to attack it. It could have saved us some wounds at the start of the game, but also you gain 1 extra fame. So quite nice. Or just the ability to move. In this campaign or this playthrough, we've picked up a lot of extra movement cards, possibly too many, but this is normally quite useful as well. If you've gone quite heavy with attack, get that extra movement, you can always just spend when you need it. So I would quite like to pick these up just for that extra siege, but for 4 influence on top of wanting to get both of these, that may be a bit too much for 1 round. We could always look at potentially recruiting them next round. What is a little unfortunate, we are 4 fame away from leveling up, and destroying the Endless Bag of Gold gives 3 fame. So again, destroying this bag, we would be 1 fame away from leveling up, and it would be quite a nice combo to also be able to take Ice Bolt and a new skill token. Let's see, can we get 8 influence? Assuming we're going to destroy this bag of holding to get the 9 influence we need for the catapults. So that. Improvisation, we could get 5. So red mana 5. We'd need to discard one other card. And as I said, we do have quite a lot of movement cards this game, so discarding stamina isn't awful. That's 5. We need 8 more. We need 3 more to get to 8. Could use mana draw. And I think I will. With mana draw, we could use an additional die from the source, or we could use the gold mana. No, we've already used a mana from the source. We could use the gold mana instead. Set a die for a specific orientation and take 2 mana tokens, one to power improvisation and the other to power rage. Yeah, for that 3 that we need. So we get 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll set the red die red just so that we keep the source open to us. So yeah, we've got 9 fame for the catapults, 3, 8 the Imitep freezers. What I'd quite like to do again then is use Crystal Joy. We use the blue mana that we have saved up. Power Crystal Joy, gain a blue mana, but also then discard a wound to draw that card back into our hand. So we will keep Crystal Joy and Pathfinding. Unfortunately, we will have to destroy. Not going to actually rip it in half, don't worry. Destroy that artifact. Loses us 2 reputation, 2 fame at the end of the game, but we get 3 fame from using it in that interaction. Reroll the die. Well, blue. Discard these. Let's take our loot. We want the Imitep freezers and the catapults. Excellent. We've got 3 nice strong units now ready for our next city attack. We've got the option for a lot of siege fire from these and the Imitep freezers. Again, we need a blue mana, but they would prevent. I didn't give us our blue mana. They would prevent an enemy from attacking and reduce its armor, so that's really useful. Excellent. Do not refill the unit offer, so let's just have a look at the dummy player. 1, 2, 3. Threaten. So he has 2 red crystals. 1, 2. Our turn. And again, we're going to have 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cards. Okay. So we could potentially look at attacking this dragon. We've got target enemy does not attack. We don't have to worry about its 6 brutal. Zoom in. Got a 6 fire brutal attack and 8 armor. If we stop it attacking, getting 8 damage to it isn't out of the question. We've got a blue mana in the source. We can power up chill easily enough. And then we use we've got 1 attack from our skill. We need 7 more. we use two crystals from our bag, we could power up Rage for 4 attack and use one of these cards sideways for another 3 attacks. That's 7, plus our Siege Ice attack at 8. And that will give us another card and another skill token. Got 4 cards left in our deck. With the amount of move we've got here, we should still be able to get onto the next tile and maybe have a look and see if we want to kill or have a pot shot at the city. Yeah, I like the sound of that. So we'll provoke the rampaging enemy since we're adjacent. We're in the city. It will come to fight us. It is not immune to spells. With fire... Ooh. Did I... I forget. With resistances... No, it was a red spell we used and they had ice resistance. Yes, that's fine. Fire resistance, you're immune to red mana spells, and there's also arcane immunity, which makes them immune to all spells. So yes, I almost completely missed up our city assault, but thankfully I did not. And in this case we have a blue spell against a red dragon, so that is fine. So we're using die from the source to stop him attacking, and also he loses resistance. And then let's take our red crystal and one of our blue crystals. Actually, if we used our Amatep freezers instead, he'd get armor -3. We'd only need to get 5 attack. We could save one of our mana crystals. So let's do that. We'll have to spend the freezers, and that stops the dragon attacking. We'll spend a red crystal for attack 4, and we have our skill token, which we can use 1 attack every round for the 5th. Yeah, perfect. So the dragon is 8 fame. Move my crystals. 62, we will move on to 70, and we get 2 reputation back, killing a rampaging draconum. We only used 1 card that round. Yeah, just the 1. So we know which card we're going to get back. It's going to be the one that we draw from the offer, and I think that's going to be Ice Bolt for the ability to get a blue crystal and the ranged ice attack. And so that goes onto the top of our deck, and we also draw 2 skill tokens. Not a huge amount of choice there. We can either get a blue crystal and a green mana, or a blue crystal and a white mana. I think we'll go for the green. More useful. I'd already made up the mind that it wouldn't be... Ooh. Oh, but that is a very nice skill from Tovak. No. With the solo rules, these cooperative skills, I believe they come in one of the expansions actually. On your next round, you get the bonus that the cooperative player would normally get. So in this case, you get a mana on one round, and on the next round, if you spend a mana of that colour, you get a bonus. So, +4 For instance, on something like our siege attack here would actually become then a siege attack 7, but you'd have to set up for it the turn before. Alright, I will take a quick little break here and pick this video up in just a moment. Okay, so let's just wrap up this then. So we need to re-roll the die from source. White. And refill the offer. Ooh, firebolt. Okay, so we are still in the city. And we have improved our reputation. We're up to only -1 now. So actually, potentially, considering we have promise in our hand, we might recruit that final scout. The dummy player has quite a few cards still in their deck. We only have 5, so we don't need to rush. But let's see how quickly he goes. 1, 2, 3. It's green, so he will draw 2 more. That's a little unfortunate, because there is the potential now with 5 cards left. We've only got 2 more turns. We know what this extra card we're going to draw is. It's the ice bolt we just picked up. So we don't have to stay in the city to recruit, but if we do, we're going to get the bonus of the 3 influence. And taking into account our -1, that leaves us on 2. We could just spend this 2 influence from promise to recruit that unit. I think that's worthwhile. It gives us extra movement. And then that siege attack versatility. So we're just going to stay where we are, spend 2 influence to recruit the scouts. Very quick, easy turn. But what we will do, let's make use of Crystal Joy as well. We'll crystallize this red mana die and we'll discard stamina, bring it back into our hand. That has to be another non-wound card, so we gain a red crystal. Let's reroll the die for the source. Gold, perfect. The dummy player, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Red, so he is going to draw those last 2 cards. We get 2 more cards. And let's have a look at where we are. So we're in the city. We want to explore. This is going to be our easiest location for it. So we need to get through the terrain here, which is 4 movement, and then an additional 2 to explore. But we've got pathfinding. Pathfinding, if we power it up, is a move 4, and the move cost of all terrain is reduced to 2. Really good for lots of movement. We use the green die to get move 4. We can use 2 of that movement here, and the other 2 movement explore. Red City. Red City would be level 8. The Red City has 2 white, purple, and a brown. 2 white, purple, and brown. Also on this tile we have 2 rampaging Draconum. We will have to deal with this one, and it's physical resistant. And there is also another ruins up there which we could potentially look at. It's a brown and violet enemy. to get a spell and one of every colour crystal. Okay, so that is all the movement from pathfinding spent. Let's take a look at this enemy token, see if we could take it out this round. So it's got 5 attack with brutal and physical resistance. With our skills though, we can generate the ranged ice attack here, and also from our catapults they can produce ice attack, and we can produce ice attack. Oh no, that would be enough. That would need 5. Yeah, so we could use a blue crystal here plus the catapult. Is there a better combination? It doesn't have to be siege, but we've already used 1 dice from the source. So we're relying on using extra crystals. So siege attack 5 from our catapults plus 1 from our skill token is 6. We could use then Force of Nature for the siege attack 3, but I think saving the siege is probably better, as we're about to hopefully attack a city. So we'll want to go and keep the siege and use the range. Yeah, that seems worthwhile. In order to provoke this rampaging enemy, we've got a couple of options. Let me zoom in there. So we're obviously adjacent, so we could just provoke him where we are, but this round, because we've played pathfinding, the movement cost of all terrain is reduced to 2. Normally these deserts would cost us 5 movement, but if we spend another 2 movement, we can move adjacent to the city, provoking this dragon to attack us and also leaving us in a better situation to assault that city without needing all the movement next round. So let's do that. We're spending quite a few of our crystals. It's pretty good to get rid of this dragon out of the way. So catapults here. We could use either ability. I think actually I want to keep hold of a blue crystal to stop enemies from attacking. So let's use the fire siege here using a red crystal. And then ice bolt, the extra siege damage. Unfortunately, because he's physically resistant, this would be a nice situation where the scout's extra 1 siege could have done the job, but don't quite. We'll have to use 1 other crystal from our bag for the range attack. So combined, we have 8 against its armor of 7. Great. Another rampaging enemy, so we're going to gain 2 more reputation, bringing us back up to 0, and 6 fame, but also because it's a faction token, we will gain 1 ability here, and this lets us add fire resistance or fire attack to one of our advanced actions or basic action cards. Anything that gives attack or defense, attack or block, we can use as if it were elemental using this. That's pretty good. discard that. These crystals need to go, and don't think there's anything else I want to discard. No, we've only got 2 cards left in our deck anyway. And we know one of those is a movement card. So we'll have what we need to attack the city. Let's re-roll mana die that we used. White. Oh, I discarded our unit. Put the catapults out, but spent. The dummy player is going to declare end of round. And these are our last 2 cards. So we are adjacent to the red city. Have a look at those tokens and also take a look at the bonus the red city provides. So the red city, any normal attacks are brutal attacks. We'll double check this. I believe it is only normal attack. The reason I say that, the bonus for the blue city is elemental attacks are stronger, whereas the green and red city only show this icon, which is what tokens show for non-elemental damage. So the 4 tokens we have. Okay, so got some summoners. I think we killed one of those previously. They're physically resistant. These guys are resistant to every elemental type or every damage type. So basically they're 14 armor unless you've got a way of getting rid of those resistances. And they're double fortified, so we can't use siege. These have got swiftness and paralyze, so pretty bad. They're resistant to fire. These guys are resistant to ice, so some quite high armor classes on there as well. And everything that isn't elemental. We don't know what this attack will be. It'll be a random token. So these are brutal, and this could be. Okay, do we have enough in our hand here to make it worthwhile doing an attack? Shall we just wait the next round? We've used all of our units except for the scouts, so we will just have 1 siege attack we can use from him. We could look with the scouts at the top token of any unused enemy tokens pile. We can look actually at the top brown enemy, and then we'll know what we're dealing with the summoners. But also we'll know half of what we're going to fight if we go here. It might be more achievable because we can use chill and the siege ability here. Got the scouts. We could effectively have 5 siege attack, the range attack plus chill. If we can get, it's 8 movement though. That's quite a lot of movement. It is possible from the cards we have here. We spend a green mana, we get move 5, steady tempo for 6, 7, and then threaten spent sideways for 8 will get us into that location. And then we could use a die from the source, and we can get a blue and green mana from here. Yeah, let's go for it. We have to lock in this move. I think I want to keep the scouts for their potential 1 siege. And we could have a total siege attack of 5 or combined range of 8. Might come in clutch rather than looking at the token. I think either way, fighting over there is pretty good. So we'll spend this for the blue mana crystal and green token. And we spend the green crystal here. If we were to end in a mountain or a hill, our hand size would be bigger, but that doesn't matter. And move 2, move 3. So we've got 8 move in total here. And this token then, let's put these city tiles away. Says we need to fight a brown and purple enemy. We have these 2 tokens here. So this has arcane immunity, so we cannot affect it with spells. And it has elusive. If you don't completely block its attack, you have to use the higher armor value, which is 8. So these should be quite easy to kill. There are only 5. But if we don't block this, can we get 13 attack? We've got 2 attack if we look at the scout and our ability card. We could use chill sideways with a mana crystal, as long as it's blue, for 4. Yeah, it says we can't get black mana anywhere. We can get 8 block. Using green mana token to block 6 and Crystal Joy sideways gives us 9. We then need 9 attack though. Don't think it's possible. So what we'll do, we'll spend chill to stop the hag from attacking. And if we use a white die from the source for range attack 3, 4, 5, 6 from Force of Nature, spend the scouts for 7 and our ability token for 8. We can kill these in the ranged siege phase. Actually makes me think, do I just want to, I could wound one of my units rather than taking the wounds, or we could We could leave this one token on the site, just ready to kill it at the start of the next round. Because with only one card left, the most I could do is spend it sideways for 3 attack. We could wound one of our units. It would inflict 2 wounds onto them because of poison, which would mean we're not going to get a chance to heal them back up. But rather than using chill to stop the attack, let's use it sideways for an ability of 4. Spell with a mana of the same colour is 4, and Crystal Joy spent sideways 5. The 5 damage from this unit we're going to assign to the Amatep Freezers. They have 6 armor. That'll be 1 wound, but then because it's poison, it's 2 wounds. So we won't be able to use them again. That though does get us 1 blue, 1 green, 1 white, and 1 red mana crystal. Those here. We will get 8 fame. Moves us up to 84. And we can reveal 1 more token, so it increases our hand limit once more. And also we get a spell. And I think what we want is Tremor. So target enemy gets reduced armor if they're fortified. We're about to do a city assault, so shuffling this into our deck ready for the night will be very useful. Let's take this, and we can mark this site as being explored. We are unfortunately now not next to our keep, so it does reduce our hand limit, but we know we've got a lot of movement cards in our deck. To get over here again during the night is only 6 movement, so before we assault I might just use 6 movement to walk over here and get the bonus from our keep before we assault. So we reroll a dice, but we are out of cards anyway, and so we will wrap up ready for the final round, that last night on the doorsteps of the Red City, fully defended. See you then for the conclusion. Bye for now.